Check. 1, 2. All right, we're live over there. We are live over here. Cool. All right, we're live over there. Oh. Sweet. We're getting quicker at this, I think. Says the health is fair. It's because the internet is slower during a time such as this. Yes. Yes. Sick. What is happening over there? Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me get you guys over there. What up? What up? What up? Sweet. Let's get this camera on. Let's go. There's one thing that I almost forgot. I need to go live in the school group. Check. 1, 2. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? I am in Nashville, Tennessee. We are currently under a 3-day long ice storm. So what better thing to do than to go live? A new amp, any recommended plugins? So are you thinking about running through your computer? Like with an interface, you said? For live stuff? I mean, I've heard of people do that, but honestly, if you don't have an interface at home and you want to use an interface, you might as well just get, because I've been using the Helix floor, and that works as an interface as well. So if you wanted to run direct in your computer and like record stuff, you can also do that. But I would say like for live use, you probably want something where you can actually step on the foot switches and stuff. And it's just easier to do that, I think. Do I recommend PodGo? Yeah, I mean you can get a lot of good tones out of the PodGo. You're just kind of limited on the amount of effects and things that you get to use on it compared to the Step Up, which is like the Helix or even the HX Stomp. You have a lot more flexibility with like moving effects around and stuff. Yeah, thanks for watching and watching all the videos. And yeah, today we're gonna be well, you guys are getting behind the scenes. I'm live on TikTok and YouTube right now, but this is just the hang time. So eventually I'll trim some things out. But today we're gonna be going over a tutorial for a song that literally came out at the time of this live stream 3 days ago. Looks like I'm glitching out on YouTube though. Things out. But I'm live on TikTok and but today we're Am I glitching on YouTube? Tutorial for a song that literally came. All right. We are glitching on YouTube. I wonder if it's the snowstorm. If you guys are watching this and I'm glitching out, it's because we're getting a 2-day long ice storm in Nashville right now. And so this may not have been the best time to go live because I'm hearing of power outages all over Nashville. But thankfully we are live right now. So if I disappear immediately, my internet went out. Okay. All right, I'm going to do my spiel here, and then we will get off with the video. All right. Here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another tutorial video. Today we're going to be going over a fresh song, hot off the press at the time of this video. This song came out 3 days ago. So I literally just got done with tabbing out all of the parts, transposing everything, and we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to be doing a tutorial for So Be It by Elevation Worship, and it's a fun one. It actually really is a fun one because the way that I'm seeing it, the song is in a mode. Some of you might be familiar with modes, some of you might not be. But the way that I'm reading this is that we're in the key of A flat mixolydian. What does that mean? That means the 7th note in the scale is flat, which gives it that unique tone. And some people might even say that it sounds minor-y, and that's what is happening with that mixolydian. So before I jump into that, I'm going to just show you briefly what that sounds like. I'm going to turn my effects off. So what I'm doing before I get into this, I'm tuned a half step down. And I'm pretty sure they're doing that in the recording. Also, I'm doing this for fun, but I'm in drop D or D flat. So there's a cool part that goes... So it's kind of cool that you can, with the drop D, it just adds that nice like kind of rock sound. And I turned off a lot of my distortions and stuff because I'm going to go over this Mixolydian idea. So this is my A flat. Reminder, I'm tuned down a half step, but a normal A major scale or an A flat major scale would sound like this. And I actually am just wrapping up on this, so I made a whole Nashville numbers course that I'm finishing up. I still need to record the modules, but all of the homework is done and everything, and so all of this stuff is fresh in my mind. If you want to see that or be in the know about that, that link is in the description, along with the tabs. I'm running a free trial where if you've never joined the worship guitar community, you can join for free and literally get access to all of the tabs I've ever made. And if you play Helix, Podgo, HX Stomp, HX Effects, there's a free patch bundle in there right now. And so that link is in the description if you want to see any of that. And going off what I was saying about the numbers, each note in the scale is numbered. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what I'm saying about Mixolydian is that 7 is flat. So it'd sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Flat 7. And so if you've heard this song yet, which a lot of you guys might be wanting to learn this for Sunday morning for churches, that melody sounds like this. Every time I played the 7, it was flat. Mixolydian. That's the overall theme of the song. That's what it gives the feel, the overall feel. So today, as far as the tone goes, I'm adapting the praise patch elevation, and this is kind of an adaptation of the adaptation. So I'm working on the God I'm just grateful, God I'm so grateful patch. And so this is an adaptation of those three. So it's the God I'm just grateful patch and the So Be It patch is all from that same album. It's going to be from the same album, and I think they are releasing it sometime in February. So it's kind of all in the same sound. It's a little bit dirtier sounding, a little bit more of a fuzz sound on the overdrive. You can even put more fuzz on it. If you go back and listen through the stems of the actual recording, you'll hear that like some of the rhythm stuff has that undertone of like extra overdrive fuzz type of sound. But try to get it a little bit warmer to match the tone of the actual song. But it's got a nice, like, warm, I'm kind of aiming for with the Strat, almost like a humbucker sound. But I get a lot of the, kind of the twanginess still of the Strat. So that's what we're going for. So, with that being said, we're in A flat, tuned a half step down. So don't let that freak you out. I also have, like I mentioned, all of the tabs in every key transposed. So I created the tabs in A flat, transposed them for you, and they're in the description if you'd like to check those out. So what we're going to start off with is there's an ear candy riff that happens in the verse. And let me just refresh that. It starts like this. So what I did was I just cleaned up the tone, added the chorus. And being tuned down a half step, it's 7-6 on the G string, and then 7, and then 5 on the B string. So again, that's kind of like an ear candy type of thing. It's not really a part, it's more of like a riff that you can play. And a lot of the the music theory behind it is it's what's called a pedal tone. It's just playing on that A flat, and you're kind of like, it's kind of this like dirty swell type of thing that's just happening during the verses and even like the first chorus. And that's kind of your role during that part. But during that first several verses, you're just kind of on the one the whole time. But in the chorus, I want to go over a lead part that you might hear towards the end, but it's something that if I were to play this on that second chorus where you're taking up the dynamics just a little bit, it's following the melody of Tiffany. So let me get rid of that chorus. So when in doubt, I tell people just listen to the chorus melody, and if you're off, you're playing the wrong notes, then you just listen to that and try to be on with that timing and everything. So it sounds like this. Again, we're in a mode, so we're in Mixolydian, but what I'm thinking in my head, as far as the guitar shapes goes, I am thinking in the key of D. So if you were thinking, or sorry, D flat, if you want to think about it that way, but since I'm tuned down a half step, these shapes are in the key of D, which if you look at A flat Mixolydian and D flat major, as far as the notes and the pitch, they're the exact same. And so you can kind of trick your brain into thinking of in a mode on the guitar, because in D flat, if you know the whole D flat major scale on the guitar, you just think in that, but your focus note is the A flat note. That's the other, I kind of call it the backdoor approach for thinking about modes. So, but if I did a D flat major scale, it would sound like this. Same notes, but we're focusing on the A flat note, which makes it a mode. So hopefully that makes sense. I can fly through the notes with you. So it's 10, 8, 7 on the B string, then the 9, 7, 6 on the G string, and then back up the scale. So you're going to repeat that and loop that over and over. And then you'll play that. Then at the end, it's going to be 8, 7 on the B string. And then 7, 6 on the G string. And if you want to make it sound more like music, on the electric, you can bend it. So you could choose to play that clean. Depending on where you're at in the song, you could choose to add some crunch distortion to it. Depends on where you're at in the song. I think for what I would do during the second chorus after the verses, I might do a lower octave, because that's the exact same pitch on the higher octave. It's the exact same pitch of what Tiffany is singing. So in order to complement that better, I will probably play an octave below, and then I'm also planning on towards the end of the song playing an octave higher, and I'll show you what that looks like an octave below. That's a way to play it that way. Again, I'm tuned to drop D flat. I don't know if they even do that in the song, but I think it's kind of cool to get that nice power chord. So I'll just play it slow for you, and you can go back and watch it back. this is another way to play like a G5 chord. So you got your first finger on the 3rd fret, B, and then your ring finger on the low E on the 5th fret. And so I'm just going 5, 4 on the fret numbers. It happens so quick you can kind of get away with it. And then a D5 power chord. And then an A flat power chord. A power chord. Okay, it's another way you can kind of play lead and rhythm at the same time, and that's what I would do before the chorus is before the bridge. I'd kind of play that lower octave, and then towards the end I would do. Kind of a way that I would play that higher octave. So I'll play that slowly up here. I would do a unison bend here. That's how I'm getting that sound. So I'm bending the B string there a half step. And then doing another unison bend on the 15th fret. My first finger's on the 15th fret, and then you're bending up the 18th fret. A half step. And then you're letting it resolve. So that's how I would attack it. Like I said, that very first part that I went over is actually part of the song. And then the lower octave and the higher octave thing is stuff that I'm just kind of making up. And I would kind of stretch the dynamics a little bit more. So that leads us to the bridge. And I'm going to get rid of my overdrives, because there are these triad things that are happening. I need to tune that. So that's what the part sounds like. While we're at a stopping point, what's up? We're live. Is anybody surviving the snowstorms or ice storms right now? Okay. So here's that first shape. See if you can see that. Like I said, I've got everything all tabbed out for you so you can actually see it. Link is in the description. This is the second shape. So this is the D major triad up here. Okay. You'll play those triads very briefly, only in the bridge 1 and bridge 2. And then as we start building with bridge 3 and 4, you'll play a palm muted thing there. So let me get rid of the delays. So right there's your first shape. And you're alternating on the high E, B, and G string. So I'll play that picking pattern slowly. So that very last time, you're only hitting the high E string and the B string. So this is your first shape. Then you'll play a B minor. Then a D, or a D flat, and then you'll play the A shape here. It's basically the top end of like an F chord. A shape there. So you're doing that briefly again. So that is on bridge 3 and 4. And then you'll go back to the chorus. And that is where I would jump up to... I would jump up to that high octave. Do the unison bends. Then you're going to go back to the tracks is calling the post chorus. So it would sound like this. That would technically be post-chorus 1. That's what I was calling it. So it's 10. The notes are only 3 different notes. So it's the 10th fret B string, down to the 8th fret B string, then the 12th fret B string, and back to the 10th fret. That's post-chorus 1. Post-chorus 2 sounds like this. So if you think about it this way, you're starting at the A flat and you're doing the first 3 notes in the A flat major scale. So it's 10, 12 on the B string, and then you'll end up on the 9th fret E string. And you'll just shift that entire thing you just did down 2 half steps. So we're going A flat to G flat. You'll stay here, and then go back up. So it's important here to know the timing of it. So there's an 8th note rest at the very beginning of this. So don't start on 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a 8th note rest. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and rest. Rest. So there's a little bit of a hesitation there. So make sure you don't miss that. And that is basically it. That is all I have for the song. The ending, there are hits at the end. You can either choose to go like what we did earlier. You could do power chords. Like I said, I'm tuned down down to D flat. But let me show you what that looks like if you're not going to tune down a half step. Or down to D flat, drop D flat is what I'm trying to say. So let's say you're in A flat standard. It would be... If you wanted to get that low note, it would be 3-2 on the low E, and then a D chord, and then an A chord. But there's something cool about being in drop D doing that. So I think I would do that. But other than that, if you guys want all of the tabs in whatever key that you decide to play it in, I'm not sure if you're going to be playing it in the original key in A flat. That like rarely happens to me. So if you have trouble trying to transpose and find different parts, because obviously if you transpose, sometimes these parts move around the fretboard because you are either raising it way too high or too low and you have to adjust. If you have struggles with that, I have the tabs in the description below, and you can get them in every single key because I went through the work and transposed them and found the optimal spots to be playing all these parts in every single key. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Now we move on to the hang session. Question: how many drives do you use to play the song? That is a great question. I'm using 2 drives. I am on the Helix using, if you're familiar with Helix presets, the Minotaur. It's like a knockoff of the Klon, and then a Scream 808. Got those 2 stacked together. It's a little bit heavier than what I typically use for elevation stuff, but it kind of gives it that nice like warm humbuckery type of sound to the Strat. Especially I'm on the bridge setting, and my tone knob is probably turned down to about 7 with the Stratty single coils. So now what we're going to do is I have some POV videos that I need to record. So you guys will get some behind the scenes of that, and we can just keep hanging. I just need to do a quick changeover. Is anybody in an ice storm right now? No? Yes? What model of guitar do I have? I have a American Professional Strat, and I believe it's olive green is what the official color is. I did switch out the pick, not the pick guard. The pick guard's the same. I switched out the pickup covers and I think the knobs too. All of the plastic hardware that you would normally come in a kit, like the switch knob, all of your tone knobs, they used to all be super white. And then I was like, I wonder what it would look like with everything all blacked out. Because I like wearing black, as you can't tell. So I like the black color, and I just kind of left it there. Because it's kind of a pain to like take the whole plate off on a Strat. There's like 17 million screws. So I just kind of left it, and it stuck. So what I need to do now is make sure YouTube doesn't hear the actual song. Because I don't want YouTube to not like me for playing copyrighted music. I actually have two POVs I want to do. What I like to do is if I play a certain song at church that I don't typically play or I've never done a POV, I try to just turn right back around after I play the song in the service and just do a playthrough with the GoPro. Because you might as well. After you do 3 services of it, you might as well just record it. Oh. Trying to get this GoPro to connect. It's probably because I need to update it. It's giving me problems. How we doing? We're 30 minutes in to this live stream. What do I need to do? This was giving me problems last stream with this GoPro. Somebody has my second pinned video. I have to go back and look. Oh, Mighty Name of Jesus, that one? I don't know if I made tabs for that one yet. Maybe I do. Let me check. I do have the tabs for just like the actual song. I don't have any tabs of me like after the fact of what I played, so don't get your hopes up. I don't want to set the expectation that I tabbed out every single note that I played in a video. But if you're trying to learn the song for what it is, all of those tabs are available. The question was on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, the link is in the bio. It's in the worship guitar group. Come on, internet. What are we doing? The GoPro is a like a headband type of thing. You can get them on Amazon. Yes. That's what it looks like. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to turn this mic off so that YouTube doesn't get mad at me when I play the song. But people on TikTok will be able to hear the actual song. People on YouTube and all that, you guys will just hear my guitar. But I will at least give you something else to look at with the session. All right, I'm going to mute my mic. Just so you guys know, for everybody watching, I'm going to do the whole song with kind of just like a bass line sound of the sound that I'm going to play the whole song. And typically what I do after the fact is then I'll mess with effects and things like that. So take that what you will. I try to get a nice clean one take. Then I can. The cool thing about doing everything through Logic and Helix Native is you can kind of mess with the effects after. So if the reverb gets too much or the delay gets too much, or if I need to pull back on distortion or something, it's super helpful. All right, here we go. What do you guys think? Should we start over? That was good enough, right? I think that was good enough. What do you think? Oh. I think we can get away with it. I don't like videos being too perfect. Because if it's too perfect, it almost comes off not live. I feel like you gotta have like 5% mistakes in there. Otherwise it doesn't sound live. Like I want it to feel live. At least that's what I tell myself. For not being 100% perfect. All right. So we're good on that one. I've got one other that I want to do. No other name. I've got 52% on the GoPro. We'll see if we make it. I'm trying to figure out a good patch for this. I think I might just use the Praise You Anywhere patch. Oh. I got to get out of A flat. We'll try not to snap any strings. These strings are a little bit older. I think this next one is in 74. What up? That wasn't what I wanted. Come on, TikTok. What are we doing? Okay. What up? What up? What up? What up? Check, check, check. Okay. All right. We've got one more POV that I want to do. Oh, I need a click for this because it's too much. All right, I got to make sure I mute YouTube. Make sure my mic's back on. Um, yeah, I mean, that one felt pretty good. That one felt pretty good. I'm the one from Instagram with the Pod Go. I do have a Pod Go, but I primarily play through my Helix. I'm the Helix guy. Where do your stems come from? That is a good question. When I practice along to multi-tracks, rehearsal mix to get all like the individual guitar parts. But I'm just playing over top of the song, not for multi-tracks. So when I do the POV videos, usually I just play over top of the song. It's funny because what somebody said on TikTok is they've said they've seen me. Yes, that is me. I am the POV guy. At least on TikTok for sure. I really only post whatever comes off of this camera. Let's see if it leaves a... Yep. That's a good old mark. Then we do this. Cool. Yep. Check, check, check. Let me make sure my mic is on in my headphones. Hello. There we go. What is up? Instagram, TikTok, school, YouTube. Question. Hey Joey, just wondering if you could do a lead guitar tutorial for "Thank God I'm Free" by Elevation Rhythm. Yeah, that is the new song by him. I'm gonna check it out. Why? Oh, it's over here. There we go. I am probably gonna do that one next. It's Polar is the guy's or gal's name on YouTube. Yeah, I'm probably going to hit that one next. I just did this one. Obviously, this live stream is the tutorial for So Be It, Elevation Worship. And I'm going to hit up that one next because I think that one just came out as well. So, dang, we've got people everywhere. We got people on TikTok, YouTube. Sweet. Appreciate you hanging. I'm going to go back through these songs. What up? I'm going to go back through these songs and not necessarily edit them down. I like to keep them on one take, but I will mess with the effects a little bit so that you guys can get the best. I just pick a preset that I have that's close that can get me through the whole song, and then I'll go back and then mess with wet effects and stuff. If you're the only electric guitarist, how do you choose between rhythm or lead parts? Well, I've been playing guitar, especially in church, for, oh my gosh, almost 18 years. Yeah, Patch District. Oh, you know what? I'm live on TikTok on the wrong account. I'm live on my other account. That's funny. I should be live on the Patch District one. That's funny. Yeah, so I've been playing for On a team, on a worship team since I was 12, and I'm almost 30. So what is that? 17 years. And primarily, I've been the only guitar player on the stage. I've played. It's probably 80% of the time that I've ever played on a stage, I was the only guitar player in a worship setting. If it was like total, it would be like 90% of the time. So I do have a lot of experience in figuring out what to play because you can't play all 8 guitar tracks in a song if you go back and listen to it. So typically, I always aim for the lead parts first. And a huge difference in that is if you're playing with tracks or not. But let's say you're not playing with tracks. Definitely play all the lead parts that make the song unique. Then you got to think about dynamics. So if the dynamics build in a certain spot and you have 0 tracks, you are part of the sound, like a huge part of the sound. So that usually I'll dip back into playing more rhythm stuff. It also kind of depends on the era of worship music. Like early 2000 stuff was a lot of rhythmic, mid-rangey parts, and now it's a lot more effects and reverb, and it really affects the way that you play the guitar. Yeah. So yeah, so I'll mess around with this. Yep. Dynamics is everything, pretty much. Really depends on who's on stage with you too. You can get away with a lot more single note stuff, especially if you're running tracks and you have a second guitar player. I want to keep this here. I have a question on YouTube. Dilute Spice. What up? I don't know if you're still watching. Do I have an update on the release date for God I'm So Grateful preset? Yes. It is in production. I'm hoping that it's out within a week of this live stream, of this recording. That is the next one. And so, if you're watching this, this is an adaptation of kind of the baseline of the God I'm So Grateful patch. Seems like a lot of the albums, for example, for this Elevation album, the new one that's coming out, a lot of the tones are pretty similar. So I just keep going off of whatever this newer sound is. It's kind of it's got more overdrive and almost like a fuzz on a lot of the rhythmic, super high-end rhythmic stuff. So I'm excited for that one to be out. I like how that one turned out on the POV videos and stuff. It's got more gain on it. So question from TikTok. Do I use song-specific patch on my Helix when playing a Sunday set list? The answer is no. The patch that I am using came from a song-specific patch. Currently, what I've been using the past year is the Praise You Anywhere patch as my baseline. And then I'm just using that as basically a pedal board. And I'm using like two main snapshots from that patch. I'm using the swells a lot, and then I use the chorus snapshot, and that has gotten me the majority of my tone for the last year. And so I'm about to just revisit that, and I don't know. I feel like once a year I want to just redo everything for my personal board. And so I'll probably mess around with some other amps and things like that and see if I like it better. Will this one be available, the So Be It patch? Maybe. Yeah. If you want it. It's kind of crazy because I have so many Elevation patches where some of them are even just like adaptations of the patch. Like, for example, the So Be It patch versus the God I'm So Grateful. Or, yeah, why do I keep messing that up? God I'm So Grateful patch will not be too different. Because a lot of times it's like you go into one album and you kind of have your sounds that you go with. And like, for example, if you have an analog board, it doesn't like change crazily. You kind of have your amps and things that are set up. But if you're wanting one, then I can mess around with it. Maybe have one. So let me make sure this is working. Question from YouTube. Where you learn to cut and edit on a program, are you using the Helix Stadium? They have a thing called Showcase where you can upload the song, cut, and edit parts so you don't have to hit your pedal. That is a great question. I don't know much about the Stadium, about that part. Working setup, where does chorus, bridge, verse. The way that I'm doing it right now, here, let me flip TikTok back around so you guys aren't staring at me. So the way that I do it, I'm using Helix Native. So it's technically the Helix below the Stadium. Will Stadium have a native version? Probably. I wouldn't put it past them. But what I do when I do the POVs, and what works for me, is I just plug my guitar straight into the audio interface and I run through. It's basically a copy of the Helix, but it's a plugin for, this is Logic Pro. And what I can do is I'll just find a snapshot or a setting that sounds close enough where I can get through the whole song and play it accurately. Because there is the feedback thing. It's like if you don't have enough distortion on your guitar, you're not going to feel it as much when you're playing in the moment. So I just get it to a point where it's a good bass line, and then I make sure that I get a full one take through the whole thing. Once I get the one take, then I'll splice up the different sections and tweak the settings. Because there's certain, like the whole So Be It beginning is super ambient, kind of this like dirty ambient thing, but it doesn't happen the whole song. So I went back and I chopped up the beginning part and then just tweaked the settings I wanted for that. And I'm kind of, the reason why I could do this quicker than create a patch for it is because I'm just kind of flying around and editing parameters and things like that, and it doesn't look pretty at all on my end. But I'm kind of mixing it in real time, and it's not designed for somebody to take that and like kind of understand, and use that in a real life setting. I'm just getting it to a point to where it sounds good. So yeah, so I chop things up, and then it allows me when I have different tracks to change the plugin. And I treat the different tracks as if they were their own snapshots. I like that one. So then what we do is this, and then this, and a little bit of this, and a little bit of that, and we bounce it. POV. Dang, we're an hour and 30 into this stream. Appreciate you, y'all, for watching. Y'alls. Let's see. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't reset my mixes here. I'm going to have to mute this for YouTube, because YouTube is going to get mad at me if I play this. Yeah, dilute. Dilute. Appreciate you watching, for sticking around. All right, I can unmute myself. Let me rebounce this. Guitar. Do you guys like watching this behind the scenes stuff? What do you think? The last year, it would be me just sitting here doing all this. And you would only see the final POV. Or is this entertaining? Or is it boring AF? Cool. I got one vote for you like it. Good. All right. Let's make sure. Sweet. So we're going to lock that one away. And if you guys want to see the final result, hopefully it'll be up soon, within a week, on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. Check. I wanted to highlight for you guys that this specific song, if you guys are watching just now, if you're hopping in now and not earlier, this is an actual song that I have played twice for 2 different Sundays and 3 services at a time. So any sort of ad-lib stuff has been thought out before. Like, I would hear a lot of the stuff, like the harmonic thing. Where is it? Well, that I heard that too. Like, I've played that part live for this song probably 8 to 10 times already. And so some of you are probably watching this and are like, wow, he's coming up with all these parts. I did come up with the parts, but I've also played 6 services, and I actually played this live, and I felt like it needed something in verse 2 and then verse 3, because there's so many verses. It needs some sort of call and response, and there's so much air in this song. This is No Other Name by Hillsong Worship. Like that stuff. I'm like, for this song, like, I'm not coming up with it just like off the cuff. I came up with it off the cuff when I was practicing it for when I played it for Sunday, but I'm just capturing it. So it's like, don't think I'm just like making everything up on the spot. Hopefully that's a little bit of an encouragement. I don't know. Maybe not. Tips for, here's a question on TikTok. Any tips for intermediate guitar playing for church? I mean, the intermediate level is such a vast world, and there are so many things where it's kind of like, I was thinking about this the other day about when you start something new, you have the excitement of it being new. Like, you're starting the guitar, you're so excited. Everything is unknown. And then, let's say, I guess with guitar, there's no finish line, but let's say you get to the finish line of a project, and you're like, then you get another dopamine hit, like, oh my gosh, I hit the end of my thing, like I accomplished something. And then there's like this like huge gap in the middle of, you could call it intermediate guitar playing, you could call it the middle of a project, whatever, and you just feel like it's never gonna end. And I think guitar playing is kind of that way, especially the intermediate level. So there's so many different things. But what I was saying about that, for intermediate guitar players, definitely lock in your ear training and your understanding of the Nashville number system, and like really getting a high level understanding of that, and really understand the music theory behind that too, to add alternate chords like a flat 7 or a minor 4 or whatever. And like really, because that's the difference between just playing the song that's on the piece of paper, going to being so confident that you're memorizing the songs and you could hear the chord changes. And if somebody in the moment changed up the chord progression, you could hear it, or you could come up with it and communicate that to the rest of the team in the moment. Like that's a lot of years of practice all in one, but it's like there's a telltale sign where your ability to hear and communicate, to where it's like, if you feel like you hit a ceiling, if you're on a team, try to be a music director and train other people and communicate to other people. There's so many different things you can work on in the intermediate stage, but the harmonics, yes, depend on the key of the song. Since we were in G, I could hit the G harmonics. But if we were in a different key, I would have to capo or do something if I wanted to hit those exact same notes. But there's something cool about being in the key of D or G where you can hit those harmonics and it sounds cool and it adds a little bit of tension to the song. So that's a good question. So a lot of times if we get a song that's in the key of D or G, like that's the moment. If you want to hit those harmonics, those are like the keys to hit them, unless you want to cause a lot of tension. But yeah. That whole part sounds early. It's like the whole clip sounds early. What up, Steven? It's going good. We are on almost 2 hours. We're almost on hour 2 of this live stream. So thanks for joining. I think that's a wrap on this song. That's a wrap. Let me just check the mix on this. Sounds good. Oop. Sounds good. All right, we're going to bounce this. Actually, I'll throw in that last bit of compression. Guitar. Woo. Wow, I cannot spell right now. Guitar audio. No other name. Raw. Has anybody got any questions? We are nearing the end of this live stream. I'm almost done. Let's double check. All right, y'all. Come on. All right, y'all, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching this live stream. Thanks for sticking it out for those of you who are hanging right now. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you guys in the next live stream. Stay warm. We're under an ice storm right now.